What is up, everybody? Strong Lead Hook and Grizzy here. Back at it again with some PoE 2 and Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree. How's everybody doing? What you got for us today, Grizz?
Right now, I'm going to work on taking down some of these fire golems in the DLC, and then I've been opening up the map to the entire DLC. I have it open now, and later I'm going to be coming back down here toward the south area where all the dragons are. That's where I'm adventuring most right now. I've got a lot done in the last few days, so yeah.
For the audience, go to Grizzy's channel. The guy Clark I. Go to his channel and subscribe. As a matter of fact, I will link it down in the description.
Still playing that demo, right?
I am not.
Oh, you're not? You're on... Oh, that's Path of Exile?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to move on until I get to the end game with this build right here. Because my monk is pretty much done for. That was my main. It's pretty much done. Plus, I know. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I know if I play that first Berserker Kazan, I'll like it too much, and then I'll end up buying the game. And I don't want to do that right now.
I know the feeling. Yeah, that was a game I saw earlier in the year. I was like, I probably will play that at some point.
It looks good, man.
Yeah.
Honestly. From what I understand, that game is all about parries, like in Lies of P, right?
Okay.
But when I was playing the demo, the parry windows are very forgiving, and it feels good. They're parry windows.
I had some.
You know, like,
go ahead. I had some monsters earlier. I had to parry in this game, and I am not a parry fan.
I don't know if you remember in Lies of P, the parry windows were real tight.
It was easier than this. I was actually pretty good at parrying in Lies of P.
For me, man, it was tough. I thought the windows were tight. Because I would pull the trigger too early. You use the flask that allows you to parry, like, okay. That's the one flask I have yet to use.
Wait, hang on. Sorry, I'm kind of preoccupied right this second.
No, you're good. You're good. We are just gonna pick up after we left off. Continuing on with the story, making the hard push to get the end game.
Damn. Damn it. What was that you said? What you said? Some flask or something?
That was the one flask I never used, the Sekiro flask for the Elden Ring DLC.
The Sekiro flask.
You said you were using the parry on a boss earlier.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. Not a boss. Not a boss. It was there's one enemy in the game. You don't have a choice but to parry, and I'm just not a fan of parrying. Uh, uh, but more. What exactly were you talking about?
When you there's this flask that you can get in that game, and it essentially turns your shield into a parry thing like Sekiro, where you just hit the trigger.
Yeah, I haven't got that yet. No, I don't even know. I don't know about that yet.
Okay,
But you're
I
good. I
thought
would
that's
use
what
it
you were
anyway.
using.
Nope, nope. I was using the buckler. It's the best parry shield in the game. It's a starting shield for one of your classes. But
Oh
there's
yeah,
these in the abyssal woods. There's these enemies called untouchables or something like that, and you can't beat them unless you parry them first. And so there's about I don't know 7 or 8 of them. They don't come back after you kill them, but
is that the place where you can't use the horse?
yep.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, it wasn't. I enjoyed that. I remember when I went to that area, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Dark Souls 3. Like it really just had that feel in it. And when I went
Yeah,
online and I was just looking at that after I went through the area just to see what other people had done and if I missed anything, sure enough, there was comments like that. Like it reminded people of Dark Souls 3. It just really had that feel of a certain area.
yeah, it was all dark and gloomy and
Yeah, there's a very specific area in Dark Souls, and I think it said Abyssal something too. I can't remember for sure. It's been a while, but
the enemies in that area, the big head people that stare at you when you start dying, that's a Bloodborne. That's an enemy from Bloodborne.
I could see it. They do they repackage and reskin a lot of enemies in this game. Oh shit!
For that Elden Ring DLC, I think what it is they're bringing back bosses from Dark Souls 3 and they're putting it in Elden Ring.
I can see it.
Because I guess for which one is that game? The one that's like Fortnite. The new one they got coming out. I can't remember what it is. They recently had a demo.
Yeah.
My goodness, I can't remember what that is. Anyways, yeah, they've got bosses from all the games in that game, apparently. Doing like a crossover between the Souls games and Elden Ring. And I have some Bloodborne bosses in it too. Probably Sekiro bosses too.
I'm about to die. This guy. Yeah. All right. I gotta be more careful right there. You know what? I don't want you guys to sit here and see me. Well, no, I want to take down that giant. I'm gonna take that giant down. I got time. All right. Not even this particular one's got a lot of enemies around them. Makes it hard on me. I'm trying to have him beat all the enemies in the area first, but I
The
killed my
fire
last.
golem.
Yeah, I killed the last two by getting above them, but this one doesn't look like there's an area to do that. So I just have to do it the hard way.
Have you heard of the game No Rest for the Wicked?
No, I can't say that I have.
That one is supposed to be an ARPG Souls. Like it's more Souls than Diablo.
Huh. Shit. Alright, I'm coming back to fight this guy later. I'm gonna get my souls back and go back to the area I was at. I've lost at least 2 levels today. That was kind of depressing, but I beat a few bosses today, and that was not depressing. Oh yeah, that's one thing I was gonna say earlier, because I remember we were talking about it. He was like, what is the satisfaction of beating a boss in Path of Exile 2 or right now, because everything you get sucks and it's just not satisfying. It's really the what you were saying. And my dad had been over a few weeks ago and he saw the way I was playing the game. Dang it. Alright, remember. He saw the way I was playing the game, and he liked that. You know, I was playing with no spirit summons or nothing. And so he went back to a character, and he's been doing that here lately. I think he restarted a whole new character, and he's been doing that. And he's messaging me all these... every time he beats a boss, he's been messaging me. He's like so happy he beat a boss like that. And it was just like... He was just telling me like how satisfying it was, and it just reminded me of the conversation I was having with you last week about how it's not that satisfying in Path of Exile.
Yeah, like with a game like Path of Exile, it's closer to Diablo than Elden Ring, right? So if you take a player or 2 players, for example, and player A has a lot of skill and player B has overpowered gear, has really good gear, the player with really good gear will outperform the player that's really skilled. You know, like at the top end of your power of your build is going to be dependent on your build, because there's not much skill expression with the game like this. Although that's not to say that skill plays no part in it. That isn't to say that there is.
I was thinking about it.
There is a form of skill expression in a game like Path of Exile, especially with the rolling mechanic. That's one of the reasons why I'm able to survive without optimizing my build, optimizing the game. You know, if I had no Souls experience, then I really wouldn't be able to play the game at all. I'd be frustrated.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it, because even though, Diablo is a great game, but it's a hack and slash game. There's not much skill to it. It's hack and slash. It's for fun. Like, there is some skill, but it's not that much. So you're right.
It's not in depth or nothing like that.
If you got an overpowered character, he should easily conquer a skilled player in that.
Yeah. And the interview with the devs, that's what they were trying to convey to the audience. They're like, we don't want the game to be easy. We want there to be a challenge, and I get that. I get that, but it's just
Well,
something that I keep
I want every
harping.
game to have
Go
a
ahead.
challenge, but there's got to be some fun in it, right? Like
Yeah,
if it's a
yeah,
hack and slash,
exactly.
there's still challenge, but there's a I barely made it challenge, but the reward for that would be like for Diablo, like a legendary weapon, which will really now you can just go like ham on whatever's in that area. So it's just different.
Yeah, and the players were complaining about the power of the builds because it's like it doesn't feel like my character is getting stronger. And I'm like, yeah, that's true because even in games like Elden Ring, your character gets stronger over time, and you're able to just really mess up the boss. You could really, one shot bosses. Not one shot, or maybe like 2 or 3 hits, you know.
Yep.
You can really cheese the bosses with some builds in these Souls games, especially Elden Ring. But it's up to the player, right? Like what you're saying. I can choose to make it as hard or as easy for me. With Path of Exile, you can't do that because I have to use the updated gear, or else, I can't put off updating my gear, upgrading my gear. I can only get away with it for so long, but it's not a sustainable way of playing. I'm playing a level 50 area and all my stuff is level 20. Well, I'm gonna get killed.
Yeah, yeah. If you the likelihood of you making through that, even like the best players, they're gonna have a hard time making it through that, and it's not fun. It's not fun. You're gonna be sitting there eating at health bars for a ton of time. Like you see people do that in Souls games, and it's not even. There are people that like it because they never get hit, but it's not really.
Yeah,
That's not fun. Like I, the,
they find it fun, but I
yeah,
don't find it fun at all.
there is a what do you say? There's a fan fare for that particular style of play, but it's not that big of a fanfare. You might have the average guy
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. I can never do that," but he moves on. He doesn't care.
Yeah, even the novelty of something like that is already wearing off, right? No one's really impressed by that anymore. Because if you
Yeah,
put in enough time, you could do it.
yeah. You could learn every
If it,
enemy's move set, and sit there and just hours on end and never get hit, and then chip away at their health. And but that's not fun for everybody.
yeah,
It does make
exactly.
one think.
Something I keep complaining
Some
about this game is
concerns
if
are
they want to
both two
make the enemies
sides of the
harder,
same coin.
they want it to be really an ARPG Souls, then they need to improve the roll mechanic. Because you're fat rolling in this game no matter what. You're always fat rolling.
I
So
see.
improve the roll mechanic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or make that a skill itself.
Yeah. Because you're fat rolling everywhere. Or they could do it like Lords of the Fallen, where tap it once, you dash, you tap it twice, you double tap, and it rolls, right?
Maybe
You do
they
something
made
like
this
that.
game. Maybe they made this game based off their real life scenarios. Maybe if they had armor, or maybe they can only fat roll in real life. I don't know.
Well, what's this? Yes. Yes, I should have known. Even the truth was itself mere folly. As if using Lord Moog to gain entrance to the Land of Shadow were not enough, he plans to use his corpse as the vessel of his king consort. He has forsaken Lord Moog's soul. He desires only his empty shell. It beggars belief, but I'm afraid Tender Mikola fails to grasp the humiliation implied by this act. One thing is certain. My dear lord deserved better. Righteous tarnished. You have my gratitude. You have given me the answers I needed, but I can hardly fathom it. Such folly. Unto the end. I am a warrior, but I've aged. I cannot afford to act hastily. Curse it all. I know my limits. I could spend the rest of my life honing my craft, and still that creature would be out of my blade's reach. The absolute folly of it all. The absolute
Okay.
I'm afraid I'm busy. Truly. I should have asked Ansbach to impart. I'm afraid. Truly.
Let's make sure this guy.
I had something I wish to tell you. I'm heading south. I've recalled something that Sir Moore said. He discovered deep purple water lilies blooming on the southern shore. That must be where St. Trina was left to wither away.
Alright, so you're leaving.
To the audience, I was gonna replace. I've been looking for a replacement crossbow, even though I just got this one, because this other crossbow, these types of crossbows, they fire an extra grenade. If y'all remember with the earlier acts, I was using a crossbow that fired a bunch of grenades, but I had to upgrade my gear. But the only crossbow that I liked or was strong enough was the regular one. So I'm on the lookout for a crossbow that'll really that fires a whole bunch of grenades, but I need the physical damage to be high.
Rapid fire.
It's gonna be a while before I find it.
You don't know that. It could be in this hour right now. You don't know.
Well, this game has been getting some complaints, no surprise, about the gear drops. Like, the drops have been pretty bad. Do I think it's bad? I don't think it's bad, but I do notice the change. Stuff is dropping less. Yeah, this patch that they did, it was a scandal. People were talking mad shit. They're gonna go to Last Epoch, which is another ARPG game. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No, I'm not.
Your dad is really into ARPGs. I don't know if he's checked out Last Epoch yet.
Well, he's into Diablo specifically, but he never played like games like Neverwinter Night and stuff like that. I know those games. I know he knows them, but Diablo's like the one he's played so much of.
Is he still playing Diablo 4? From what I understand, Diablo 4 is pretty much dead.
Oh, I mean, I once I found out it was online only, I wouldn't even play it, and I was going to play that. No, he's playing Elden Ring right now. Like he's coming over next Thursday. We're going to set up the TV. He's going to play. He's playing Elden Ring,
Just give
and
me the word if you
like
need
I
any more
said, he
poisons.
he saw how I was playing, and he wants to go beat all the bosses without using spirit summons or nothing. So, and unlike us, like he's at a point in his life where he doesn't work, so that's all he's got to do.
Shit,
But
that's gonna be me when I get to his age, you
no,
know.
I want to be there right now.
You wanna be old? I'm already
Hey,
old.
I'm good with that. Hey,
I've
he's a
come to a
lord to be here sooner.
realization. There's ample evidence. I'm quite
Okay. All right, let me stop goofing around. Let me go back to where I was earlier. Hmm.
Folks, I know I keep repeating this over and over again, but I am gonna do a video of a comprehensive take and patch of everything that's gone on since Dawn of the Hunt. Gonna be a review slash recommendations slash, you know, what I think about it. And how you can, and my recommendations as far as how you can enjoy the game. And they're just my recommendations. Content creators are resentful towards PoE2 and the devs, and if they're gonna walk away from this game because it's too Souls-like, because it's too Souls, you know, too much of a Souls-like, then you know that's their choice. I mean, that just makes it that much better for me because now I'm the PoE guy, right? I'm the PoE2 guy. So if the big content creators want to walk away from PoE2, it is what it is. Now y'all gonna have to come to my channel, watch PoE2.
Oh, dang, what was that about? So,
Nothing against those guys, you know.
so
They're
I was,
certainly,
go ahead,
go
finish
ahead.
what you're saying. I thought you were done. Finish what you're saying.
I mean, they're certainly a lot more better. They're a lot better content creator than I am. I'm a rookie to this whole thing.
Yeah, I would say as far as being a content creator, I don't know if I have anything to offer. I'm just gonna have fun with it. Whatever happens, happens. Um,
Yeah,
what I was gonna say though is, I was playing around with the weapons earlier, and there's this sword. The Kyrian Sorcerer Sword. Do you know that sword?
yeah,
It is when I first started using it, I went to use the strong attack, and the strong attack didn't work, and I was like, "What's going on here?" And I got to looking, I got to reading the description, and it is a wand slash sword. So you can put all your favorite spells on this sword, and then you can cast spells while using a sword, which is pretty great for people who are not very good at and adapt at that sort of thing. And The only drawback is I think it does 30% less damage, but you can use buffs and stuff, and it can really be great because you can be hacking and slashing with your sword, and then just go to a spell of whatever your choice might be, and that's pretty cool actually. I like that.
You can get that sword in Mesmer's castle, right?
Yes, you get it. No, you get it in Rolana's area when you oh dear.
Do you fight what's his name? That dude Moonrithil? He's like one of the Carrion Knights. You gotta fight him, right?
Is it right before Rolana? Or is I think so. I think
He's
I know
like-
what's
He's like a knight.
yeah, I know you get the sword from him. He's wearing the Carrion armor.
Yeah. He's a knight.
Yeah. He's there where you fight Rolana. He's down below her, and he just he like it's almost like he invades you. He doesn't, but it's kind of like an invasion. And yeah, he just,
Yeah.
But that's where you get the sword from. And then I was just playing with it, and I was like, but I put on so right now I've got Glintstone Iceberg, and I'm about to use it.
That reminds me, I'm gonna try, I'm looking to try a playthrough of Huntress. So audience, stay tuned for that. Try Huntress. I didn't want to play with an overpowered build on this particularly on this season because I had gotten used to Ice Strike Monk, which is an overpowered build, and this is where we ended up. This is where we ended up. We didn't end up in a good place. That build went from being my main to borderline unusable. It's not unusable, it's that I'm not even using the skills. I'm not using Ice Strike or Charge Staff. I'm just using the Ice Blast thing. Like I'm not using the build for what it's intended for because I have to use projectiles. Anyways, I'm rambling.
I'm dying. Alright. I think after these guys, they shoot the flames out of their head like 3 times. They cool off for a minute. That's my chance to go in and attack them. I just run around them a couple times. Big ass circles. There. Is that it?
I used the big weapon for him because you gotta hit him with a lot of posture damage. You gotta break his posture. You gotta break his posture. That big thing over there, you gotta hit him in the feet.
Alright. Yeah, you gotta break his posture, but when he cools off, he can't stump his feet on the ground for a minute, and that's what I'm waiting for. So you gotta let him use his which Yep, still hot. Come on. Come on. There we go. Whoa. God. That didn't work out. Dag nabbit. Fuck that guy. I'm coming back. I had the right idea.
I remember when the DLC for Elden Ring first came out and people were bitching up a storm, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't see what's wrong with it. DLC is fun. And that's if you would think that the no-hit run, level 1 runners, you would think that they'd be really good at the game.
I think that's what
that they have nothing to complain about.
I remember seeing all these videos of people like raging, right? And it was just like, shit. I remember seeing all of these videos of all these people raging, right? And it was just like, yeah, it was like these people trying to play the game so perfect, and it just like, look, man,
You're afraid to take a hit, you know?
well, just the game's hard for a reason. It is, and to get at a point where you are dodging every hit in the game, oh shit, this asshole. That ain't something people can just do.
What I'm saying is that these guys you think running level 1 runs and doing all that fancy shit, you'd think they'd have nothing to complain about, that they'd be really good at the game, that they wouldn't be complaining about how hard the game is, you know? But no, there was this guy, he does a bunch of level 1 runs and no-hit runs. And he was complaining that the DLC was too hard. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I thought you were some speed-running badass, right?
Yeah.
And I thought the DLC was just fine. You know, the devs don't make the game for people like you to make YouTube videos, you know what I mean? And the Path of Exile devs, that's where I think they messed up. They were looking at the top players, and they determined where to make the nerfs. They're like, we're gonna nerf this build because we've seen Johnny Blowjob one-shotting our hardest bosses, you know? And I'm like, well, you don't make the game for them. You gotta make the game for the average guy that doesn't live for, you know, that doesn't make a living playing freaking video games.
No.
We got about 20 minutes left, Grizz.
Okay. I got about, let me not die, minutes left.
Okay. I was just giving you a heads up.
Is that it? Come on. I wonder if I can just roll through his foot stomps. I'm gonna try it. Yep. I can do it. You, man. You can roll through his foot stomps, but you got to be on point. Alright. Well, let me do this then. Let me. What reason to have?
It's a very short window, isn't it?
Yeah, it's you have to
The
roll
roll.
as soon as this stump comes down. And I mean, hey, let's do it. I'm gonna need stamina. Ooh. Where's that? Where's this holy damage? No. Oh.
I'm trying to avoid going back to town so we can continue and keep pushing forward.
Oh, look, there's a crab over there. Hey, Mr. Crab.
That's 45 minutes. I didn't have anything for a segment today. I'm gonna, if I talk about anything, it'll be about the Dawn of the Hunt, current season. And folks, if you want us, the reason why I'm thinking about stopping the segments is because, you know, if we're making a video related to a game or a certain topic, we want to keep it consistent, you know.
Got it.
If you want us to talk about the Bible, we'll make a separate video for that. Now that I've figured out some things. That's certainly something that we'll be able to do. Go back to town real quick.
Come on. Ah. I was close too. All right. He starts doing a double stomp after you take him down one good time. Let's see here.
You know, it does make sense that From Software is kind of moving away from the games that they've been making for a while. Because there's really nowhere else for them to go, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like,
Well-
what else are they gonna do?
Well, I mean, that's been their bread and butter, so.
Because what game can they make? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what other game can they make? Where are they gonna go from here?
Let's see here. Turtle. Shit.
my girlfriend has this philosophy teacher at school, and all he does is talk shit about Christianity. That is all he does. And he presents these, what you would call, I don't even know what you would call them, conundrums. And he thinks it's like the ultimate question to stump the Christians. You know, it's funny that Christians, they have been consistent with what we're saying. What we're saying doesn't change. But the atheists and the other religions, they have to try and find more ways to argue against God, right?
Yeah.
But us believers, we've been saying the same thing for as long as Christianity's been around. Nothing that we're saying is different from before, but the atheists, they have to try and find more ways to debunk God. And that right there speaks volumes. And if you come across this video and you're an atheist, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'd be happy to discuss the Bible and some questions that you might have. But if you're sitting there looking for an argument, you're barking up the wrong tree. Because the way I see it, one day we're gonna find out which one of us was right.
Yeah.
Got him?
Yeah. Always at the end. I don't know why that happens that way. And then, but you're it's like a thing, man. Yeah, man. Like, atheists don't even believe what they believe.
They're just looking for an argument, a good point to argue.
Well, that's the whole thing. Where's this good point they keep trying to make? Like, you're here. Like, where's your proof? You're standing here. Where's your proof? Like all the science in the world proves that we shouldn't be here as we are right now. Yet you're standing here.
Yep.
You guys want to go to your logical
fact that
logical being here.
The probability that we'd be here today is so low, and yet we exist. They have these simulators. We have supercomputers today that can run these very complex simulations, right? The scientists, they use it. If they want to test out a theory that they have, or they want to run a simulation on an experiment. That's what they use those supercomputers for. And of course, this isn't something that's well known, but there is a record of it where they tried to run a simulation of the Big Bang. You know what they found? They have to intervene and press buttons in order for the experiment to continue forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, for you to just run the simulation alone, you have to press the button to initiate it.
Do you know where it gets stuck at? Like, where's that stopping point? It's like, oh. It's not
so with the it gets stuck at the part where the planets are formed, because even with gravity and matter and energy, you still have to intervene to pull them together. Right? Like nothing. What happens in the simulation is things happen, things move forward, but not in conditions that can sustain life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the planets aren't forming correctly. They have to intervene with it. They have to plug in the numbers for gravitational pull, you know, the amount of matter that's present, the amount of energy. They have to plug in those numbers no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. You can't put in a proper sequence and it just work. You have to cheat it.
Right. Because they'll run the simulation and then they'll plug in the numbers for gravity, the amount of energy, and the amount of matter in their simulated universe. So then they hit the button, Big Bang starts, right?
Yeah.
And of course things move around, you know, but like for example, the suns in their simulation can't form correctly. They always have to correct it and intervene, right?
Okay.
Because the sun won't form, the stars wouldn't form correctly. You know, the planets hit each other. What else? Even if the planets form, right? They have to, they cannot sustain life. You know what I'm saying? It cannot sustain life. They find that they have to intervene in the simulation to plug in the numbers, to get it going, to take it to the next step.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'll talk more about this in our next video. I'm actually gonna look that up. They can plug in the time. You know, they can plug in time.
Yeah.
Where they'll make time pass. And of course, the Earth doesn't form just because you hit time. They'll plug in the time like, you know, 1 billion years. Let's plug it in and let's see where we are in 1 billion years. Nothing. No planet that can sustain life. So then they'll be like, all right, let's fast forward 10 billion. Let's see what happens. Of course, nothing happens. There's no Earth or any planet that can sustain life. There's gas giants, you know, like Jupiter and stuff like that. But even then, you know, time without the interference of an intelligent being, it causes chaos, right? Only chaos is born out of it. Like
Yeah,
an explosion does not.
There's some scientific method that shows that chaos cannot create order, it can only create destruction, or something like that.
Yeah, like time does not create order. It only produces more chaos. Without the intervention of a sentient intelligence. But we got less than a minute, Grizz. You want to close us out?
I just put my faith in the Lord. The more I get, I don't put my faith in the leadership of man in this world, or nothing in this world. My faith is in Jesus Christ, because that's the only person that I can really count on. And you know, He's going to let you live your life.
That's right.
He's going to let you make mistakes, and He's going to let you do the right thing. It's up to you. But Jesus Christ is the only sure thing in this world. So don't.
That's right.
Don't look.
That is right. Like and subscribe my channel and Grizz's channel. Bye bye.